खलीफा के हम हैं खलीफा हमारा, वो दिल है हमारा आका हमारा, हमारा हमारा खलीफा हमारा, वो दिल है हमारा आका हमारा, वो दिल है हमारा आका हमारा। ऐ शख्स तू जान है हमारी।
For almost 3 unforgettable weeks, the presence of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, has been a source of spiritual renewal for the fortunate members of the United States Jamaat. The blessing of Khilafat has not only deeply affected the members of this community,
उनका जो चेहरा था नूर ही नूर है, मैं तो देख नहीं सकता था, अल्लाह ताला ने बड़ा फजल किया.
but even those outside the fold have been left in awe.
Every time I talk to him, he impresses me. If we had more people like him in the world, it would be a more peaceful place.
Both young and old queue for hours just to be inside the mosque with Huzoor for Salat. And when prayers start, the worshippers fill the entire grounds. Alhamdulillah that we are once again witness to the unbreakable and ever-strengthening bond between Hazrat Khalifatul Masih and his beloved Jamaat.
सौ बार जिए तो तुझको चाहे.
On Friday, the 7th of October, Huzoor travelled to Fort Worth to inaugurate the Baitul Qayyum Mosque, just over 50 miles from the suburb of Allen, where Baitul Ikram is based.
Ahmadiyya, Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen, Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen.
After unveiling a plaque to mark the inauguration of the mosque and planting a tree, Huzoor inspected the premises. This building will serve the Ahmadi Muslims local to Fort Worth and is scheduled to be renovated with a dome, minarets and a mihrab. Prior to the Maghrib and Isha prayers, the local Jamaat members had the opportunity to meet Huzoor in a collective Mulaqaat.
कितने लोग हैं जो ये असाइलम सीकर हैं यहाँ, जो थाईलैंड श्रीलंका वगैरह से आए हैं? अच्छा, तकरीबन 1/3. यहाँ काम शुरू कर दिया आप लोगों ने, सब ने? अच्छा, दिल भी लग गए यहाँ? नहीं लगे तो लगाने पड़ेंगे, मजबूरी है. और तालीम कुरान के सेक्रेटरी हैं
जी.
तालीम कुरान का काम वक्फ़े आर्जी भी है. बहुत सारे यहाँ होंगे जो फारग भी होंगे, वक्त दे सकते हैं, उनसे वक्फ़े आर्जी करवाया करें ना
जी. ज़रूर.
उनको क्या तबलीग करें
जी जी इंशाअल्लाह.
ज़ुबान नहीं भी आती है अगर सही तरह, लिटरेचर लेके पम्फलेट लेके बाहर चले जाएँ, तक़सीम करें, बात का तारुफ कराएँ, मस्जिद का तारुफ कराएँ, दावत दें यहाँ आने की. ठीक है
जी. हुज़ूर.
तो तालीम कुरान का काम वक्फ़े आर्जी का भी है
जी,
बड़ा. इंशाअल्लाह पूरा करने की कोशिश करें. ठीक है. तो हर महीने अगर आपको 15-20 लोग मिल जाएं तो आप इस पूरे इलाके में जमात का तारुफ करवा सकते हैं, इस्लाम का तारुफ करवा सकते हैं.
जी सर.
नए नए रास्ते खुद एक्सप्लोर करने पड़ते हैं. जो जो वसाइल हैं उनको इस्तेमाल करते हुए, उसके अंदर रहते हुए जितना ज़्यादा काम हो सकता है करना चाहिए.
जी.
बैठना नहीं है. थकने वालों में से न बने, ठीक?
जी ज़रूर इंशाल्लाह।
You are Secretary Tabligh.
जी
You should distribute some literature. You see, fix some number, at least 10,000 brochure pamphlets distributed to the public here. You should know that what is the total population and what type of people live here.
जी
Are they educated people, white American, African Americans, Latin American or Asian, and according to their ethnic groups, you should preach.
जी इंशाल्लाह।
Take a proper plan. कितने फासले पे रहते हैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आबादी एनजीओ की?
15 मिनट के डिस्टेंस पे तकरीबन 30 से 40% लोग रहते हैं।
उनके पास ट्रांसपोर्ट है
जी हजूर।
तो फिर ठीक है, और अफोर्ड भी कर सकते हैं। पेट्रोल खर्चा महंगा, ये नहीं कि पेट्रोल महंगा हो गया तो हम आज मिल सकते हैं।
जी हजूर।
ये कोई बहाना नहीं होना चाहिए। कहीं और जाना है तो पैदल चल के चले जाए, दुकान पे जाना होता है, बर्गर खरीदने 100 गज के फासले पे होती है, तो कार पे बैठे हुए जा नहीं सकते, वहाँ पैदल जाएँ, पेट्रोल पे सेविंग करें और मस्जिद के लिए रखें आने के लिए।
जी हजूर।
फजर पे और मगरिब इशा पे काम से वापस आ जाते हैं। 50% तो कम अज़ कम होनी चाहिए ना, अब तो 100% हाज़िरी होनी चाहिए, लेकिन शुरू में ये टारगेट रखें, फिर उसको बढ़ाते जाएँ।
जी इंशाल्लाह।
ठीक है
जी।
फिर नहीं तो फिर क्या फ़ायदा मस्जिद का?
जी ठीक है, तो इंशाल्लाह लाएंगे लोगों को।
इंशाल्लाह को माशाल्लाह बनाएं।
जी।
The next day, a special reception was held to mark the inauguration of the Batul Ikram Mosque in the city of Allen, Texas. Prior to the reception, Huzoor held a meeting with U.S. Congressman Michael McCall, the ranking Republican chair of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs.
I appreciate everything you do for peace, tolerance.
If only world understand it. Message is good, but people are hesitant to understand it or to practice it.
Yes. I'm Christian. I started reading about Jesus in India.
You see, he has proved here that Jesus survived from the cross and then migrated to India. And now there are quite a number of other historians. They are also trying to prove that it so happened. Thing is that no matter what religion you hold, we should at least respect the values of humanity, right? And this is how we can live amicably in this world. This is what the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement said. No matter what religion you hold, the basic thing is that discharge your duties you owe to each other, and your duties you owe to your Creator.
And that's a message for all religions.
Yes, all the religions, yes.
All religions.
Right. This is the common message.
Right.
If we believe that all the prophets came from God, the Almighty, then this should be the common message. The basic teaching of all the religions is the same. If you see the history of the religions and the original teaching of their founders, the prophets, that is what we believe. This was the message of the Messiah of Moses, and this is the message of Messiah of Muhammad. Peace be upon him.
Some other guests also had the opportunity to meet Huzoor.
मैंने ये कहना था कि मैं पाकिस्तान से ताल्लुक़ है मेरा, तो अहमदियों के ख़िलाफ़ काफ़ी तासुब पाया जाता है पाकिस्तान में एक जनरल, तो उनके को साबित कदम रखने के लिए आपके कोई ख़ास अल्फाज हैं?
I think I should speak in English so that you also understand. His question is, how do you keep your people living in Pakistan, despite all the persecution, they are still steadfast in their religion? If you have firm faith, then you will be steadfast. You can see from the early Islamic history, what did they do? They were being slaughtered. They were being brutally punished and persecuted by the infidels of Makkah, but they kept steadfast on their religion. So if you believe that this is the right thing, then you will be steadfast. And this is what we preach. 99.9% have very firm faith, and they are being persecuted, they are being sent to jails, they are being martyred, and they are being deprived from their day-to-day life amenities. Despite that, they are surviving, and those who cannot tolerate, they try to migrate to the other countries. So this all depends on how firm you are in your faith. Right?
Approximately 140 guests, including politicians, academics, and local residents from around the mosque, attended the formal reception. Prior to Huzoor's address, several guest speakers also took to the stage.
Your Holiness, the message of peace, justice, and service to mankind that you are spreading throughout the world is just what we need right here, right now. The City of Allen is fortunate that such a peace-loving and service-oriented community has decided to settle down here and build such a beautiful mosque. It is my wish that this mosque becomes a beacon of hope, and not just for the city, but for all those around it. Your Holiness, on behalf of the Mayor and City Council of Allen, as a gesture of our gratitude for your presence and leadership, it is my honor to present to you the key to the City of Allen, Texas.
I want to read to you this resolution, Your Holiness, that I want to present to you. The House of Representatives welcomes His Holiness to Illinois, Texas, and Maryland, commends the tireless efforts of His Holiness towards promoting a pathway to achieve individual and global peace, as well as individual and global justice.
During his address, Huzoor spoke about the objectives of mosques and also reflected upon the critical state of the world.
As Muslims, we believe that Allah the Almighty has granted us the ability and means to build this mosque. Therefore, we must express our gratitude to Him, and in reality, genuine gratitude to Allah is only possible when we are also grateful and appreciative to His creation. From this perspective, to thank and honor all the guests is a religious obligation for me as a Muslim. Unquestionably, today the world teeters on the brink of disaster, as nations around the world are engulfed by a ferocious storm of political, economic, and social unrest. The war in Ukraine has been raging for months. Opposing political blocs and alliances have become progressively entrenched as the world becomes increasingly polarized. The result is that peace and security of the world is unraveling by the day. Until recently, threatening to unleash nuclear weapon was considered unthinkable. But now, such threats are uttered on an almost daily basis. We must urge our leaders and politicians to step back from the precipice, because there is no doubt that if a global war erupts, it will be unlike anything the world has ever seen. It will not just be us who endure the pain and who grieve. Rather, our children and future generations will suffer for our sins, and their lives will be destroyed through no fault of their own. Undoubtedly, those innocent souls will look back at us with contempt. So my ardent request and message to the world is that we must set aside our differences and work tirelessly to foster peace in society, so that we may save our future generations rather than, God forbid, sentence them to lives filled with nothing except misery and despair.
I think his message was not only resonant with the community of Texas, local community here itself, but also globally.
Such a divine and peaceful and virtuous personality, and the true representation of Islam.
The Ahmadiyas came out publicly against extremism, and just respect the courage that it takes to do that. And to hear His Holiness and hear about his efforts, I see that he's built that culture in the Ahmadiyya community.
I'm so honored. I can't even express the feeling that I have to be in his presence, and just recognizing the responsibility that he has, and he has taken time to come here to Allen, Texas, and share a few words with this community, and to reassure us that there's nothing to fear and that we all want peace We want to accept all humans, and there's no hate, there's just love, and that's what this is about.
On Sunday, the 9th of October, Huzoor departed from Dallas for Silver Spring in Maryland, where the national headquarters are located of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community USA at the Baitur Rahman Mosque. Large crowds gathered to welcome Huzoor at the mosque.
Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, Insaniyat.
On Monday, Huzoor inspected a new Jamaat guest house based near the mosque. Huzoor also inaugurated Sarai Khidmat, which is to serve as the headquarters of Majlis Khudam al-Ahmadiyya USA.
Ameen.
ये डैम है, राइट साइड पे किचन है,
किचन है, डाइनिंग है,
हाँ जी डाइनिंग भी है आगे।
On Tuesday, Her Excellency Hajia Alima Mahama, Ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to the United States, had the opportunity to meet with Huzoor. She was also accompanied by the embassy's finance and consular officers. During the meeting, Huzoor spoke about the importance of serving one's nation with sincerity and expressed his desire for Ghana to prosper.
If the politicians realize this, that they should serve their nation, their public, their people, then everything will be okay. I hope you will be doing this.
Inshallah.
All the economic condition there now.
Not good because of the COVID.
Try to get some more investors there. Ghana has the potential.
Yes.
So if you tap all those potentials, then I believe that Ghana can prosper.
Yes.
One of the
Yes.
leading country in West Africa, even in Africa. The basic thing is that you improve your infrastructure by constructing your roads. Your country is agro-based country. So the produce of the farmer should come to the market. And for that you need roads and transport facilities. So if that is available, then...
You know our country very well.
Yes, I love Ghana. And I wish that it should be one of the best countries among African countries.
And you lived in Ghana not just in the capital cities, but in the rural areas.
Also develop agriculture in northern area. Shea butter is very much income generating crop.
Yes, please, yes.
So you grow shea butter there in the northern part, you can easily make soap and oil and everything with this. So it can be a source of income by exporting shea butter.
You need investment.
This is what I am saying, that you encourage some investors and give them incentive so that the final product is also exported and the produce of the farm itself is exported.
Yes.
Had I been there, I would have shown you how to develop this in the northern area.
We are listening to you. We are listening to you. This is a message we should take on seriously.
So in the south, you concentrate on cocoa and forest. In part of the south, you can grow tea and coffee as well. And in the north, shea butter. That will get you cash. And your farmers will reach within 3-4 years. If they pay tax, then you will not need any aid from the Western countries or rich countries. You will be even the donor to the poor countries.
That's a real message that Your Holiness, you have given us.
If you are determined to do it, then you will have to. Amen.
Amen.
Later in the day, Huzoor held collective mulaqats with groups of both Ahmadi men and women. Huzoor also held a mulaqat with recent converts to the Ahmadiyya Muslim community.
When did you accept Ahmadiyyat?
2019.
Did you read the literature?
Yes.
Acha.
Very beautiful, peaceful, gentle community that has embraced me immediately. And just
Right.
Thank you.
Next.
Huzoor, I converted in 2019. I am from Pakistan. When I converted, I was still not satisfied because I was Pakistani, and being a Pakistani and
It's very much difficult to accept Ahmadiyyat.
So I was still not convinced. After talking with Murabbi Sahab, I was still not convinced. So I saw a dream in which 2 nights I saw that a dream that a person came into my dream and telling me you are on a right path. So then I accepted Ahmadiyyat.
Acha, mashallah. So, ko Allah Ta'ala ko neki pasand aa gayi.
Assalamu alaikum, Huzoor.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Jaheem Thomas. I'm from Philadelphia, Jamaat, and I signed Bai'at in 2020.
Acha.
Yeah, since then, my life's completely changed. I've been married. I have a kid. My wife is Ahmadi as well. And
mashallah.
I just reap many blessings from Ahmadi.
Allah Ta'ala bless you.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I accepted Ahmadiyya in March 19, 2022. How I got there was just me being curious and me being a truth seeker all my life, so alhamdulillah.
So,
glad to see you.
Can you read the Quran?
I'm currently halfway.
You have memorized Surah Fatiha, the first chapter, and you know the meaning of it?
Yes.
Yes, that is very important.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
I came from Orlando Mosque, and I'm ready to take Bai'at, and I was wondering if there's chance to take with you, it would be such a blessing.
You want to do Bai'at?
Ji.
Will you be here for some time?
Ji.
For the next few days?
I leave tomorrow evening.
You are leaving tomorrow?
Ji.
So you can do Bai'at tomorrow morning. Okay?
Inshallah, thank you.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah. He is one and has no partner. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his servant and messenger. I enter this day the Ahmadiyya Jamaat in Islam at the hand of Masroor.
In that moment, I just felt it was just me and Huzoor, and I was reciting the words from my heart. Allah has guided me on this journey and has blessed me with the opportunity to meet Huzoor, to be in the same room as Huzoor, let alone to take Bai'at with Huzoor and to hold his hand.
Sometimes I feel like it's a dream. I feel joy in my heart, in my soul. And there is something that not even dream. It's something I want to keep this moment forever. I want to keep every one of you, your faces, how happy you are, sharing the happiness that I'm feeling right now. And that's the wonderful part in this ceremony.
Renew your passion and your energy towards this beautiful faith, and and just learning about Khilafat is, I feel like, what fuels that, and to do it at the hands of our blessed Khalifa of the time just made it even more surreal.
तू आए तो हम तुझको सराखों पे बिठाए, जा नज़र में दे तुझको तुझे दिल में बसाए.
On Wednesday, Huzoor met with His Excellency Siddiq Abu Bakr Y, Ambassador of the Republic of Sierra Leone to the United States of America.
I wanted to thank you for the incredible support you have given to our country over many, many years. And
that is our duty.
As a Muslim growing up, I actually miss going to Ahmadiyya Muslim Secondary School. The position was already filled. They only had one more student to pick, so they picked somebody else. They didn't pick me.
Okay. Have you developed some model farms there?
Yes.
So that people would know that how to do modern agriculture?
Yes, sir.
West African land is such a fertile land. If you sow this sachet,
yes, sir,
the sachet will start growing there.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Well,
so you have to tap those resources.
I want to thank you for all the support that you keep giving to our country, and looking forward to working with you, and hopefully maybe we will host you in Sierra Leone.
Huzoor also met with Dr. Shobhana Shankar, Professor of History at the State University of New York.
One of my main interests is actually in the schools, and especially the Ahmadi schools for girls, because many of the African women professors who I know, especially in Nigeria, told me they, in the 1970s, 60s, 70s, 80s, attended Ahmadi schools. This was the best school for girls. Lagos, Ibadan. I know that in Nigeria, the first Muslim English weekly in Nigeria was started by...
Truth.
Truth, yes. Was started by an Ahmadi. So I think some of these concrete contributions have not been put into the history of the countries to show the idea of development, modernization, Ahmadis have made a huge contribution for the continent. So this is the idea for the book that is the next.
So I shall be waiting for your book.
Okay, thank you very much for the inspiration.
If you need any help for the research work, we can help you.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Mr. Saiku Cisse, First Secretary, Embassy of the Gambia to the United States of America, also had the chance to meet with Huzoor. The day included a brief inspection of the MTA teleport based in the Bat Rahman grounds. Later in the day, Huzoor held a Mulaqaat with Waqifaat-e-Nau aged 12 and above. After a formal session, the Waqifaat-e-Nau had the opportunity to ask Huzoor's guidance on a range of issues.
अच्छा कितनी लड़कियां हैं जिनको उर्दू आती है? हाथ खड़ा करो. बोल लेती हो? कितनी हैं जो लिख लेती हैं या पढ़ लेती हैं? अच्छा कमाल है. 30-40% है. Try to learn Urdu so that you can understand the books of Prophet Islam in its original form. Otherwise you cannot follow, because translation cannot do justice with the actual subject, although it covers to some extent but not completely. So if you want to increase your religious knowledge, then try to learn Urdu so that you can understand the books of Prophet Islam. You should also try to learn the translation of the Holy Quran. Otherwise you would not know what is the subject matter given in the Holy Quran, what are the directions and commandments, injunctions given in the Holy Quran. Try to learn the translation. At least you should read 1 ruku or 2 rukus daily of the Holy Quran, do tilawat and then read the translation of it. And if possible, try to memorize it, or at least the difficult meaning of it. There is a split word translation of the Holy Quran available on alislam.org. Start learning it from there. That is your duty. ठीक है?
How does beloved Huzoor envision the world will change as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war and the very recent development of Russian bombing inside Ukraine?
It is not the matter of only Ukraine and Russia war. It seems as if it is going beyond the borders of Russia and Ukraine. The whole world is going to involve. If the whole world is involved in this war, then I hope quite a number of people will realize and start thinking why it has happened. There will be very few people left to ponder over it, to think about it, that what has happened. And those who will be left behind, they will, I hope, try to then go to find their Creator, towards the good things, to search for the true religion. And at that time, this is the duty of humbly woman and man to guide them on the right path. Thus, now you have seen the result of your worldly desires. And now Allah says that you should follow my injunctions and commandments and obey my teachings and practice what I say and believe in me firmly. Then, if they do not realize it, then there's going to be another havoc. The whole world will be doomed. So we cannot say what is going to happen. So we should pray and get ourselves ready to preach the true message of religion and how to bring people closer to their Creator. ठीक है?
जी, Jazakallah.
When Huzoor departs after touring a country, Ahmadis are extremely saddened. What are Huzoor's sentiments?
So what do you think? What should be my sentiments? If you feel saddened or you will feel sad when I leave, then the same sentiments are mine. That is what happens. But after some time, you forget that I came here and I left. I never forget you. I keep on praying for you all the time. So this is how the world works. And this is how we should behave, that a person who comes here in our town or city or in the world, he has to go back. And we should pray for the person, for each other. This is how we can strengthen the bond of relationship, right? That you should do, that is why I should do. Okay.
In Surah An-Nur, verse 36, Allah Ta'ala describes His light and says that it is lit from the oil of an olive tree. What is the significance of an olive tree?
You see, the beauty of the olive oil is that it does not give smoke, it gives light. One of the things you can see. And olive is the symbol of that area where majority of the prophets claimed their prophethood. And Allah likes this. If you read the further verses, then there's an explanation of the significance of it. And you are Waqfe Nau. You can read the commentary of it from the 5-volume commentary, right? There you can find the detailed answer of it. Anyway, one thing I have told you, that this is the oil which does not give smoke, and it shines. It was a metaphor. It was an example given in the Holy Quran that this is the olive oil and the light of the oil. And the light of prophets is also the same, especially the light of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, which is more shining than this thing. That you light the lamp, there's a globe on the lamp, and then the lamp is put on here in the shelf, which reflects light. So in the same way, the light of the prophets also shines forth, especially the light of the Holy Prophet of Islam ﷺ. Then if you need further explanation, you read. That is detailed answer on it.
Is there such a thing as coincidence, or should we take everything as a will of God?
If you believe in God, then if something you want and it happens according to your wish, or if you desire something and you wish that some other person should behave in the same way, and it so happens, then the people who do not believe in God, they will say it was a coincidence. But you know that because you prayed for it and it has happened, so it was the will of God. If it did not happen, that means that God did not want it to be. If I lose something, I am searching for it, and I pray that Allah Ta'ala help me in finding that thing. And immediately it comes into my mind that I kept the thing there, or I find the thing somewhere. So I will say that, and I believe that that has happened because of my prayer. It was not a coincidence. Allah Ta'ala helped me. But the person who does not believe in Allah Ta'ala, he would say, oh, it was just a coincidence. So it came into my mind, and the thing was already there. I went there and found it. So it all depends. See, the difference is that when you pray and you find the thing, of course, Allah Ta'ala has helped you. And sometimes you also find some things coincidentally. Without prayers, you find some things. But it does not mean that Allah Ta'ala did not help you. We should always believe that in any case, Allah Ta'ala helped us to find that thing.
What is the correct way to do istikhara? For example, in the rishta process, should one start istikhara prior to considering a rishta, or start istikhara after the family has been met? What are the signs that should be looked for?
You see, when any rishta comes, any proposal is sent to you or any girl, then first you should know the apparent condition of that boy. How is his behavior? How is his religious attachment? How are his morals? Right? So, if you ask for these things, and the family is good, the person is good, then you should do istikhara. And istikhara is that you seek Allah's guidance and pray to Allah Ta'ala. Istikhara doesn't mean that you will see the dream or Allah Ta'ala will tell you something through ilham that it is good for you or not. No. Istikhara is you pray to Allah Ta'ala that if this match is good for me, Allah Ta'ala help me. And if there are any doubts or reservations in my mind in this regard, Allah Ta'ala remove them and make this match good for me. If it is not, then Allah Ta'ala keep me away from this rishta. So this is the istikhara. If you feel satisfaction in your heart after praying, then it means you do it. There is a risk everywhere. We never can say 100% sure, but you see 90% you will be satisfied. Then if you are satisfied in your heart, then okay, go ahead. If not, then refuse to accept that match. Okay?
Following the girls' Mulaqaat, Waqfe Nau boys aged 12 and above also had the honor of a Mulaqaat with Huzoor.
What is one area in which USA Jamaat members, both individually and collectively, need to improve upon?
Offer your obligation of 5 daily prayers. Each and every member of the Jamaat should make it a point that he should offer his 5 daily prayers. And not only pray lightly, but fervently. This is an obligation. And if you offer 5 daily prayers, you would know your responsibilities. In this way, you would be discharging your duty towards Allah Ta'ala. And then you will also try to know more about religion and what are your obligations. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Beloved Huzoor, prior to becoming the Khalifa-e-Waqt, how was Huzoor Anwar able to keep such a strong relationship with the Khalifa of the time? What would Huzoor Anwar advise us in America to do so we can achieve a similar closeness with Khilafat?
I was brought up in such an atmosphere where I was taught that there is no spiritual life without Khilafat. When I dedicated my life, I went to Africa. I used to write to Khalifatul Masih Salas and then to Khalifatul Masih Rabe. Also, I used to pray for myself that I always remain close to the Khilafat and never ever do something which disturbs Khalifa of the time. And this is how you can strengthen your bond with Khilafat. You should also do in the same way. Try to make personal contact and relation with the Khalifa al-Masih and pray for him daily in your daily prayers. And for yourself as well, that Allah strengthens you in your faith and the bond with and relation with the Khalifa al-Masih. Okay?
If Allah has already written our fate, why should one continue to work hard for their ambitions in this world? If Huzoor can kindly elaborate on this. Jazakallah.
Allah knows your fate, but you don't know. Do you know? No. Allah has also said that if you do good deeds, you will be rewarded for that. Right?
Yeah.
Allah has also said that if you do something wrong, which is punishable, you will be punished for that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Allah Ta'ala did not say that you can never reform yourself. And He will never forgive you. So Allah Ta'ala is all merciful. He knows, but His attribute is all merciful. Right? And He's forgiving. So Allah Ta'ala can forgive your sins, but our duty is to abide by the commandments of Allah Ta'ala and try to do as much as we can according to the commandments of Allah Ta'ala. If we are doing in such a way, Allah Ta'ala is all forgiving, all merciful. He can forgive us. And He can change our fate at the end of the time. Okay? Allah Ta'ala knows that if you keep on doing it, He will send you to the hell. Allah Ta'ala knows that if you stop doing something and seek His forgiveness, then Allah Ta'ala forgive you as well. Okay?
Jazakallah.
Huzoor, after visiting Zion, Dallas, and now Maryland, how does Huzoor feel about the USA tour? What did Huzoor like the best so far, and what can be improved?
Every place is the best place. Wherever I see Ahmadis, they are good, they are strong and staunch Ahmadis. They were happy, they were coming for prayers. So I am happy with them. Right? So I cannot compare. You are all good. I did not go and see outside only the mosques and the Ahmadis. And I'm happy that you all have strong faith in Ahmadiyyat and good relation with Khilafat. And I pray that you keep on strengthening your faith and the bond with Khilafat.
Huzoor, Jazakallah. Ameen.
When Huzoor visits a country, all Ahmadis of that particular country wish to meet Huzoor with their families. But very few Ahmadis get the chance to do so. What guidance does Huzoor have for the Ahmadis who miss the opportunity to not get disheartened?
There are quite a number of Ahmadis, not only here in the United States. There are millions of Ahmadis living in Pakistan, in India, in Africa. So Khalifa of the time cannot go to each and every country to see the Ahmadis there and meet them there. So now this is Allah's blessings that we are in contact through MTA. And every Friday you listen to the sermon of Khalifatul Masih. So if you have a strong and firm bond with the Khilafat, you should listen to the khutbahs and try to practice it. That is how you can please Allah Ta'ala, and this is how you can strengthen your bond with Khilafat. Just seeing and meeting with the family is not your only objective or aim. No. The main thing is that you try to strengthen your faith and the bond with the Khilafat, as I have already said. Okay?
तुम अस्ल हो या ख्वाब हो, तुम कौन हो, तुम मेहर हो महताब हो, तुम कौन हो.
On Friday, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, may Allah be his helper, delivered a faith-inspiring Friday sermon from the Baitur Rahman Mosque.
Allah Ta'ala ka आप पर बड़ा एहसान है, जमात अहमदिया पर बड़ा एहसान है, यहाँ आने वाले, इस मुल्क में आने वाले लोगों पर बड़ा एहसान है कि उसने आपको इस तरक्की याफ्ता मुल्क में आने की तौफीक अता फरमाई. और ख़ास तौर पर गुज़श्ता चंद सालों में पाकिस्तान से बहुत से अहमदी यहाँ आए हैं और अभी भी आ रहे हैं. जो पाकिस्तान से इसलिए हिजरत करके आए कि वहाँ अहमदियों के हालात सख्त से सख्तर होते चले जा रहे हैं और इस वजह से वहाँ रहना मुश्किल हो गया था. और इस लिहाज से अहमदियों को इन हुकूमतों का शुक्रगुजार होना चाहिए जिन्होंने बहुत से मज़लूम अहमदियों को यहाँ रहने की जगह दी. लेकिन सबसे बड़ा एहसान जो अल्लाह ताला ने हम अहमदियों पर किया है वो ये है कि उसने हमें ज़माने के इमाम और हज़रत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के आशिक़ सादिक़ को मानने की तौफ़ीक़ अता फ़रमाई है. बस इसके लिए हम खुदा ताला का जितना भी शुक्र करें वो कम है.